Got him. I was just about to start talking to say, this type of, oh, it's a giant. Fishing crankbaits on hard bottom stuff versus grass is kind of two different techniques. And what I'm doing here is fishing grass. So I'm trying to tick the tops of the grass and trigger these fish to bite. Boy, it's a big old fish here. This looks prehistoric. Wow, yeah, that's, oh, there we go. Yes, sir. Man, that is fun. All right, fish. Wow, there we go. It's not a day I go fish where I don't have crankbaits ready to go tied on, because there's something about triggering a bite with a reaction strike, whether it's a heavy weight and a soft plastic or a crankbait. Just burn it, pausing it, hitting cover, ticking the tops of grass. There's something about it. Just covering water and finding them. I am a fan, and that was a fun bite. What a fish, man. That's one of the biggest ones I've caught this summer. We're up in the Midwest, that's a fully grown one. Awesome. Fishing a crankbait around grass is different than hard bottom or rock, where a lot of times you're speed cranking, just boom, 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 burning it, really getting a reaction strike. And with grass, you're more so, if you bury your crankbait too far into it, you get hung up and you're gonna come back with a big clump of grass. So you don't wanna bury your crankbait, but when you feel it, you almost pause and you snap it, and that bait just, it darts out of there like a fleeing bait fish. And that, in my experience, is a really good triggering mechanism to get them to bite. So as soon as you feel grass, you pause it. You're just feathering it through there though. You don't want to dig it too, so I lost that vibration. So I had a piece of grass, so I just pop, pop. And this is a system from the rod, reel, line, and the lure where you're throwing a crankbait rod. It's a much softer rod, and it really just loads up. And the idea with that is, and when it's fished with fluorocarbon, which has a lot of stretch, is the fish bites it and the rod just loads up. Rather than when you flip with braid on a heavy rod or something, you get a bite, you set the hook really hard. With a crankbait, it's totally different. You got treble hooks, and they're coming up behind it a lot of times, so you don't want to pull it out of their mouth. So it's not really a hard hook set. You kind of lean into them, and then once you feel the fish, just like that, there he is, right on cue. And you don't want your drag too tight because you got treble hooks, you know, you don't want to pull the hooks out. Oh man, this is awesome. I love it. I love it. He's a respectable one. He's not nearly as big as that other one, but I'll take him all day long. Let's bring him on in here. Yeah. Oh, geez. There we go. I think he liked that brim color DT10. Man, what a fish. Pretty fish. When they're eating it like that, you're throwing the right thing. You know, one of the other things that a crankbait often can do is fire the fish up. So if there's a school of fish and they're kind of sitting there and then you get one to eat, you want to get back in there as soon as you can, because oftentimes they're kind of in a feeding frenzy that sometimes doesn't last that long. But as long as you can get your bait back in there and keep catching them and getting in that right spot, you can really have some fun. This program I'm on right now is a pretty textbook summer pattern where the fish are on a main lake point. Crankbaits, certainly they work all year, but this program where I'm cranking the tops of grass with a DT10 out off a point like this is a really textbook Midwest summer cranking program. But that can work all over the country as well, because you're often tipping the tops of the grass with a DT6, a pre-spawn bite on Gunnersville or wherever that may be, and throwing, you know, variations of red and oranges to imitate crayfish. But right now these fish are eating bait fish, bluegills, minnows, crappies, whatever. And One cool thing I've picked up on, oh, you just knocked it. When I'm paying attention to my electronics, and maybe it's 2D, forward-facing sonar, whatever it is, when I see a majority of the bait are up on the tops of the grass, that's when a crankbait really shines, in the grass. If you're not seeing the bait, a lot of times it's buried in, and that's when you want to go after them in the grass with a jig or a Texas rig or a 3/4 ounce, whatever it is. But when you see the bait up, the fish are feeding up. And once you've seen it and you've proven to yourself that really does work, and I have for myself, it's fun. I never leave home without a crankbait. It's a great tool to just cover water, get out there and go fishing. And pay attention, you know, if it's a wind-blown point or a shoreline, or you've got a certain type of grass. Maybe there's coontail or milfoil or whatever it is where the fish want to be. Pay attention to those things. And especially if you've got some overcast skies or some wind or rain, I mean, a crankbait, you can't beat it. So part of this system is, and I'll often have different setups for different crankbaits. A lot of fishing hard bottom, I might want to fish the bait really fast with a higher gear ratio reel, but traditionally crankbaits are, you know, a slower gear ratio reel, and you can adapt to if you've got, this is a 7/3-1, I'm just kind of reeling it slower, but giving it bursts of speed and popping it out of the grass. But with that is a longer rod. I personally am a big fan. Short of target casting, if you're throwing a square bill up shallow and you're target casting, a shorter rod is preferred. But when you're making long casts, covering a lot of water, like a big long point or a big flat or whatever you're doing, covering water, getting that bait out there, this rod really loads up and flings that bait out there, and you can make really long casts, cover a lot of water, and that also helps your bait. The further you cast a crankbait, the deeper it's going to get. So it's just kind of a bell curve. It starts, it hits, and you want to keep it at that max depth as long as you can, and making a long cast is how you do that. Pairing that up with fluorocarbon, like I said, which has stretch, and this is, I throw a lot of 12 for a DT10 or 16. It's a good compromise. I mean, you could certainly go thinner, could go heavier, but 12 is a pretty good middle ground. I don't find that I break it off too much unless you're fishing around rock, and you're going to want to check your line and retie periodically. But there it is. It's the good green grass they're sitting in. Looks like a little Elodia or coontail, but that's kind of it. Cranking grass in the summer. It's one of my all-time favorites. One of the great advantages of the DT lineup of crankbaits is the fact that the DT stands for dives to. So you know what that crankbait dives to roughly, give or take a couple feet, you know, and how the diameter of your line and the length of your cast, so on and so forth. But long story short, it gives you a good ballpark figure. So say I'm out in 12, 13 feet right now. The grass isn't up too tall, so it's up to maybe, you know, I don't know, 8, 9, 10 feet-ish. So I've got a DT10. So if I really crank this down, I'm probably gonna get buried, but a DT8 could work, but a DT10 is about the right depth for where I'm fishing. But if I were to be fishing rock or some clean bottom out a little bit deeper and I'm in where I'm at 12 feet, I want to grind that bait. So I might pick up a DT16. So and I'm gonna overshoot it when I'm grinding that bait into the bottom. But fishing grass is a different animal, like I said, and you don't want to dig into it, you want to feather it. So you don't want to go overshoot your depth too much. You want to match that depth pretty well. So here and there, every cast or two, you know, I like snapping it. Like I want to hit the grass just a little bit and pop it out. But if I had a DT16 on here, I would be fighting it. I'd be fighting it and I'd be frustrated and I'd give up. So making sure you're matching the crankbait to the right diving depth. Oh gosh. Like that. Oh, it's a giant too. Oh my goodness, I cannot move this fish. What do I have on? This might be a giant pike or something. If it's a bass, I might need to get my net out. Oh, it's another giant one. Oh, it's a huge one. Oh, I got him. Oh, look at that sucker. Good night. Wow. Yes. This is why I throw crankbaits in the summertime around grass. This is exactly why. Oh, that's fun. He did it so hard and loaded up so well. Man. Here we go. Whew. That's a giant. For where I'm fishing up here in the north, this is a really big one. Man, that's awesome. There it is. Don't sleep on your crankbaits in the summer.